Today, we're breaking down the 10 most baffling, head-scratching transfers in football history. Moves that made little sense, where clubs threw cash at players they didn't even need, or where things just didn't click. Ready to dive into the chaos? Let's start from number 10. 10. Luca Yovic to Real Madrid. In 2019, Real Madrid splashed out a whopping 60 million euros on Luca Yovic after his breakout season at Eintracht Frankfurt, where he bagged 27 goals. At first glance, he seemed like a solid option to compete with, or perhaps eventually replace, Karim Benzema. However, this move made no sense when you looked closer. Benzema was still in his prime and more than capable of leading Madrid's frontline. Not only that, but Benzema's playing style is completely different. He's a creative forward who drifts wide, links up play, and makes space for others. Jovic? He's more of a classic number 9, a poacher who thrives off crosses and quick finishes. It wasn't long before Jovic realized that the system at Madrid wasn't going to cater to his strengths. He struggled for game time and, when given chances, failed to impress. Real Madrid quickly realized their mistake, sending him out on loan before eventually letting him go. In hindsight, Madrid didn't need him at all. With Benzema's incredible form and the rise of young talents, it seems Jovic was destined to fail from the start. 9. Angelo Gabriel to Chelsea. Chelsea has a habit of stockpiling young talent, but their move for Angelo Gabriel, the Brazilian wonder kid from Santos, left many scratching their heads. For a club already boasting a plethora of young wingers, like Cole Palmer, Noni Madueke, and Kendry Páez, did they really need another one? Chelsea spent around 15 million euros on Gabriel, but the real issue is where he fits in. Stamford Bridge is filled with young attacking players, many of whom are already competing for the same position. Palmer and Madueke have already been showing promise, so adding another young winger into the mix feels unnecessary. Sure, Gabriel is talented, but when you've already got a full house of similar players, his development could be stunted from a lack of game time. It's as if Chelsea just couldn't resist adding another shiny new toy to their collection, even though they didn't need it. 8. Sadio Mane to Bayern Munich. Sadio Mane's move to Bayern Munich in 2022 seemed exciting at first, but it soon became clear that it was a strange fit for both player and club. Bayern had just lost Robert Lewandowski, their goal machine, and while Mane is a brilliant player, he's not a direct replacement for a central striker like Lewandowski. Mane thrives out wide, using his pace and dribbling to stretch defenses. Bayern, on the other hand, needed someone to lead the line. Trying to replace a traditional number 9 with a winger didn't quite work, and it showed. Mane looked out of position, and the chemistry wasn't there. His stint in Munich lasted just one season before he moved on to Al Nassr in the Saudi Pro League. It begs the question, why did Bayern sign a player who wasn't going to fill the biggest hole in their squad? 7. Romelu Lukaku to Chelsea. Lukaku's return to Chelsea in 2021 was seen as a homecoming. The club forked out £97.5 million to bring him back after a stellar season with Inter Milan. But it was a move that left fans wondering, did Chelsea really need him? Chelsea had just won the Champions League without a traditional target man. They had fluid, mobile attackers like Kai Havertz and Timo Werner, who fit their system well. Lukaku, on the other hand, is a more static striker who thrives on physicality and finishing crosses. Unfortunately, Chelsea's style required more than just that. Lukaku struggled to fit into the team's fluid attacking system and failed to find the form that made him a star in Serie A. After a turbulent season of injury struggles and public disputes, Lukaku was loaned back to Inter, confirming that this big money move was a misstep from the start. 6. Antoine Griezmann to Barcelona. Barcelona's decision to sign Antoine Griezmann for 120 million euros in 2019 still baffles fans and pundits alike. The Frenchman was undoubtedly a top player, but he just didn't fit into Barca's system from day one. Barcelona's style of play is based on quick, short passes and possession-based football built around Lionel Messi. Griezmann, however, was more of a free-roaming attacker who liked to create his own plays. To make things worse, Barcelona already had Luis Suarez and Messi as their main attacking duo, and there was never really room for Griezmann. The chemistry never clicked, and he struggled to find his place in the squad. His best performances often came when Messi was out of the picture, raising questions about why Barcelona spent so much on a player they didn't know how to use. 5. Jack Grealish to Manchester City. When Manchester City splashed £100 million on Jack Grealish in 2021, it made headlines as the most expensive transfer in British football. But was it worth it? City already had a stacked roster of wingers, including Raheem Sterling and Phil Foden, both of whom could play on the left, where Grealish operates best. Grealish was outstanding at Aston Villa, but at City, he's not been able to replicate that same form. He isn't the first name on the team sheet and has often struggled to justify his massive price tag. While Grealish has his moments, City didn't really need him, especially considering their already loaded squad. Spending £100 million on a player who wasn't an obvious necessity seems like overkill. 4. Zlatan Ibrahimovic to Barcelona. Zlatan Ibrahimovic's move to Barcelona in 2009 is a prime example of a player who, despite his talent, didn't fit the team. Barcelona had just won the treble with Samuel Eto'o leading the line, but Pep Guardiola wanted a different style of striker and swapped Eto'o for Zlatan, plus an additional €46 million. It didn't take long for things to go wrong. Zlatan's playing style, strong, physical, and direct, clashed with Barcelona's quick, intricate passing football. And then there was the Messi factor. Lionel Messi was beginning to dominate Barcelona's attack, and it became clear that Zlatan wasn't going to be the main man. After just one season, Zlatan was shipped off to AC Milan, leaving many to wonder why Barcelona ever let Eto'o go in the first place. 3. Eden Hazard to Real Madrid. In 2019, Real Madrid spent over €100 million to sign Eden Hazard from Chelsea in an attempt to fill the void left by Cristiano Ronaldo. The problem? Hazard was never the player to replace Ronaldo's goal-scoring prowess. He was a playmaker, a dribbler, and not a prolific goal-scorer like Ronaldo. Madrid already had Vinicius Jr., a promising young winger who played in the same position as Hazard, which raised questions about why they even needed Hazard in the first place. What followed was a disaster. Hazard struggled with injuries and never found his best form, spending more time on the sidelines than on the pitch. It turned out to be one of the most disappointing and unnecessary signings in Madrid's history. 2. Neymar to Al Hilal. Neymar's move to Al Hilal in 2023 raised a lot of eyebrows, mainly because the Saudi club didn't seem to need him. Al Hilal was already dominating Saudi Arabian football, having won numerous league titles and the AFC Champions League without Neymar. They paid a massive €90 million transfer fee for the injury-prone star, along with a jaw-dropping €150 million per year salary. Neymar's injury history should have been a red flag, and sure enough, he's already missed significant time due to injuries. While the signing boosted the league's profile, it's hard to argue that Al Hilal actually needed Neymar, especially given the squad's strength before his arrival. 1. Kylian Mbappe to Real Madrid. Finally, we get to the most unnecessary transfer of them all, Kylian Mbappe to Real Madrid. This transfer was the talk of the summer, and while Mbappe is undoubtedly one of the best players in the world, did Real Madrid really need him? The answer is no. Real Madrid already has two world-class wingers in Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo, both of whom have excelled in big moments, especially in the Champions League. Vinicius is even being tipped as a potential Ballon d'Or winner. Adding Mbappe to this mix not only feels like overkill, but could also disrupt the chemistry that has been building for years. The financials don't make much sense either. While the transfer fee itself was reportedly waived, Mbappe's signing bonus and wages are astronomical. With Rodrigo and Vinicius already performing at an elite level, Madrid could have easily saved themselves the hassle and money.